Well, of course, the big news this week is what happened in Washington, D.C. with the John Durham, the special investigator, um, released his report yesterday, which basically said that there was nothing there was nothing to the Russia hoax, the Russia investigation, that the whole thing was basically a hoax contrived by corrupt FBI agents and allies and other departments of government. I mean, this is the FBI. This is the United States justice system. And just like health officials have lost our trust and our faith in anything they come up with for the next few years or decades, every American now is going to turn a suspecting eye towards any major prosecution or lack of prosecution or any decision that the FBI or the CIA or anyone in the Justice Department makes, including the Attorney General. It's just whether you wanted the report to come out one way or another, the fact that the whole Russia hoax was contrived and advanced by our justice system has got to shake you at the core. It has to shake you at the core. It shakes me. Again, we're going to get into this in just a little bit here. I'm going to talk about this. There's a lot of implications in this report. A lot of people knew what was going on and did nothing. Not only did they do nothing about it, but they lied to you and they told you they had the goods when there were no goods to have, and they knew it. It's amazing. It truly is amazing. So what this shows us, that almost every institution, Hollywood, entertainers, academia, we always knew it was there in the colleges. Now it's in K through 12 schools, the media, of course, government, this tribal win at all costs attitude, whether it represents the truth or not, whether it divides the people or not, that we will, the hypocrisy that we will conduct just blatant favoritism for those on our team, and we will exhibit blatant cancel culturalism, if you will, to those not on our team. They just keep doing it. They're doing it openly now. What used to be a secret left-wing agenda is now fully exposed, and they're not backing away from it because they know there's no one to hold them accountable. They know the media is not going to hold them accountable. They know government officials aren't going to penalize them because they're all, at least in blue states like ours, they're all part of the same team. And they know for large part justices are weak in the court system, that they're not going to go against the government narrative or upset the apple cart. And it's not just in D.C. It's not just this federal report. Just a couple of off the head examples, here in Rhode Island. I mean, we've said, how many times we said on this show, think about this for a second. Just think about these few examples. Governors McKee, Raimondo, the Rhode Island Department of Health got everything, 100% of all their major guidelines, proclamations, mandates, suggestions were wrong. 100% wrong when it came to the health and well-being of you, me, our families, our children, our parents. How many people died? They keep saying, how many people died because you didn't take the vaccine or wear a mask? How many people died because of their corrupt ignorance? And it is corrupt. It's ignoring science and corrupt adoration of some narrative that somebody created somewhere. They got every major decision wrong about COVID. What kind of faith does that give you? You wonder, what else are they lying about? Everything else? If they got everything wrong about COVID, are they lying to you about everything else? Think of the school committees advancing divisive agendas, teaching kids to suspect each other because of their racial color or their sexual orientation, or trying to convert kids. Think of schools turning kids against their parents with this social and emotional grooming, or they call it learning philosophy they have. Think of just a small instance. Think of what happened in the town of Barrington Not only were they fired those teachers, which we've been talking about for the last 2 days, and the teachers got their compensation in the settlement, but think of the flag controversy when the Barrington Town Council went against the will of a veterans group, and most of the people in that town and overtly flew rainbow-colored LGBTQ flags over a veterans memorial despite the objection of the veterans group that co-managed that memorial. And they wouldn't allow any other non-woke or politically correct flag to fly. So we've been sowing this distrust of our government for years and years and years. The coup de grace might have happened yesterday with the Durham report. Now, some people, of course, the left-wing media, also one of the institutions that we don't have any faith in anymore, or any of the institutional corporate media, many are calling it a dud report since there were no prosecutions and no smoking guns, but it was a thorough report. I mean, hundreds of pages. And many in DC are in a panic right now. A lot of people weren't expecting that report yesterday. It was years of investigation, as you know. It laid out, again, it's not like one major smoking gun, but it just laid out the whole pattern of how the Department of Justice weaponized any issue it could in their zeal to get Donald Trump. They were baseless accusations that were turned into full-blown investigations and a full-blown issue called Russiagate. But John Durham concluded in his report that there was not one piece of verifiable or verified intelligence when it came to opening that probe on Trump. What it did show, it did name how and implicate, if you would, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, Barack Obama. It clearly says that the Clinton campaign contrived and seeded the Russia hoax, and that Biden as vice president and Obama as president knew about it, as did CIA Director John Brennan and then Attorney General Loretta Lynch, and probably even, I think they said in the report, FBI Director Comey. What he notes in the report, and which I want to put to you as a contrast, is the manner in which the FBI opened the investigation and ran it against Trump. It was called Crossfire Hurricane, if you remember, and it was right during and after a presidential election, all based on uncorroborated, raw, and uncorroborated, as I mentioned, intelligence. That's not how they do things. The FBI is normally very careful, but compare that to how it approached matters with the FBI. I'm talking about with the Hunter Biden laptop, or with Hillary Clinton's clear destruction of evidence when it was told not to touch it. Just compare the two. Again, like I said earlier, the tribal mentality, favoritism towards our own, and just complete annihilation. Adam the Annihilator knows this. The complete annihilation of your enemy, truth for truthful reasons or not.